people with real jobs.
Hello?
Self-employed people. Which do you want to be? This is Certifiably Unemployable. It's time to fire the boss and become self-employed. Maybe you need a push to get that business or side gig going that you've been dreaming about for years. And if you're an entrepreneur, you can listen to stories and get experience from people who've done it. Get ready to change your life. Broadcasting from the compound, this is Certifiably Unemployable, and this is Sean Dean.
Welcome to Certifiably Unemployable. I am your host, Sean Dean, and thank you for being a part of this week's show. Don't forget to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, even find us on TikTok and any social media platform that you can find us at, because we're continuing to grow. And I'm excited about this week's episode because I believe as an entrepreneur, we all have stories, we all have personal lives, we all have things that come in our way, even before we're entrepreneurs. When you are wanting to start a business, maybe you've got that thought process in your brain and you're like, I want to start my own business. I'm tired of working for the man. I'm tired of working for somebody other than myself. You might not know what to do. You might just need that nudge. You might need that extra push. And that's what Certifiably Unemployable is all about. You're ready to fire your boss. We're here to help you 100%. Whether you're brand new in the space of being an entrepreneur or you're a veteran, maybe you just need to listen to somebody else's story that you can resonate with, and you then can refocus and fine-tune what you're doing in your business. And as you're listening, I encourage you to like it, to share it, to comment. You're watching us on YouTube and not listening to us over the podcast. Feel free to comment. Maybe you're watching us on Facebook. Comment, because we want to take your comments and build further content moving forward. So this week's guest is our first female guest with Certifiably Unemployable. Her name is Crystal Smith. She's out of the St. Augustine, Florida area. And I'll tell you, I just met her and her husband just a few weeks ago. Super, super awesome young couple. And what I love about Crystal is that her story, in my opinion, is real. It resonates. And I'm not saying that every entrepreneur story is not real, because your story is your own. But what I'm excited about with today's episode is you have somebody who really had a lot of things going against her in multiple times in her life. And she said, you know what? I don't care. That's not going to stop me. So Crystal is now the owner and operator of Bella's Chic Boutique, right? That's the proper pronunciation, right? And
you got it right.
Yep. So you could see Crystal, and that's actually her little studio. And we're going to talk more about Bella's Chic Boutique and what that's all about, because that 100% is her passion outside of her family. Crystal, welcome to the show. Welcome.
Do you know where's the pan?
No, I'll be out in just a minute. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today.
And we heard your little guy in the background. That's the beautiful part of being self-employed. You can work from home, do what you got to do. And not even needing to cue it in. Let's bring the sun in. I had literally just mentioned the passion. So perfect. So Crystal, welcome to Certifiably Unemployable. We appreciate you being a part of the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So I want you to just kind of tell us a little bit about your story. I know that you were born in Long Island, New York. How old were you when your mom, which your mom, she was a single mom, right?
Right, of two.
Okay, single mom of two. How old were you when she moved you away from New York?
I was 5. And when you say moved us away, that means like everything that we knew. My father still resides in New York, my Nana, all of our family, everybody. But the price of living up there is just astronomical. So From an economic standpoint, for her wanting better for her children, she moved us down here to Florida. And we moved to St. Augustine and then moved over to Putnam County. My husband and I decided to come back over to St. Augustine a little bit later on in life. But
right. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, your growing up I understand that you had some challenges in school. You dropped out of high school.
Absolutely.
You met your husband John at a very young age, 15 years old, which that's
Yes.
amazing that you meet at such a young age, and you're married. You have a family, a prospering business. So kudos to that. So tell me a little bit about your childhood and where you think some of the most challenging moments were for you.
So a lot of my childhood, like I said, single mother, 2 children, we were moving around to lots of different places. Around the age of 15 is kind of when my mom came to me and she was like, look, we're going to have to move to Orange Park. And I'm like, hang on a second. I've been here from the age of 6 until about the age of 15. And this is my home. This is everything that I knew. It was just a huge whirlwind for me. And I went to my husband at the time. This was just, my boyfriend. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I spoke with his dad and they decided they were going to actually take me in. So I went through high school, did the high school thing, decided when I was about 16 that I just couldn't bear to work my job at McDonald's, still pay for my car payment. So my mom's name was on my car, but I was having to pay the car payment. I was having to pay the insurance. So I was like basically an adult at the age of 15 doing and having all of these responsibilities. So I just couldn't manage. I couldn't do it. I couldn't bear to manage all these different hats that I was wearing. Decided to drop out of high school. But I got my GED. It wasn't ever a thought in my mind that I wasn't going to graduate, that I wasn't going to accomplish something with my life. So after I got my GED, I ended up getting my high school diploma because I did my state exams, all my Florida state exams I had already did in high school. So I automatically got my high school diploma, no GED, but I went through the GED courses. That's actually what I took to get my high school diploma. Decided to go to community college, so St. John's River Community College. And one of my professors there, I was just going to get my assistant. I was just going to be an assistant manager, a medical assistant. That's all that I wanted to do. Just something, right? Like anything. The fact that I was going to college was huge for my family.
Right. That's awesome.
Had nobody in my family that had ever went to college. So I was about to graduate with my associate's in science degree and become a medical assistant. And one of my professors, I'll never forget, he looked at me and he said, Crystal, why are you not pursuing a further degree? Why are you not furthering your education? And I looked at him dead in the face and I said, neither one of my parents graduated high school. I'm not smart enough for this. Like, we're proud enough that I'm graduating with some sort of college degree, right?
Now, honestly, when you said that, did you actually believe that, or did you think you were kidding?
Oh, absolutely. I believed it. I never in my wildest dreams would have thought that I would be sitting here today telling you that I have my bachelor's degree, from Flagler College.
And Flagler College is not a school that just takes everybody. It's a private college, and
yes. I mean, so when I submitted that application, I never thought I was going to get approved. And that letter came, and me and my mom went and did a tour of the campus, and oh my gosh, I did my last 2 years there. I got my degree. Walking across that stage in April of 2011 is one of the biggest accomplishments of my life. I will never forget that day as long as I live.
That's awesome. So tell me about what you did when you were in college, because I know being a private school, it's not cheap. It's expensive.
No,
there's challenges. So what did you do for finances?
So praise God that I have my husband, and he definitely stepped in, and my father-in-law, my mother, everybody that could kind of welcome us and keep their arms around us did, so to speak, for that last year and a half. Because like you said, Flagler College is no joke. I could not maintain a job. I tried. My first semester at Flagler, I tried to stay a waitress, and I couldn't do it. My grades were slipping. I was failing. And I'm like, look, if I really want to accomplish this, I can't be working full time and have a job and also, go through college. So we decided that we were just going to focus on my husband's income, kind of cut back on some things, and got myself through Flagler. But then, okay, now here I am graduating in April. And so February, I started looking for jobs because that's just the good old, the drive in me. I don't know. It's always been like that. So when I started looking for jobs, I got really discouraged because, nobody wants nobody wants you with just a bachelor's degree in psychology. They want you to have some kind of experience, or they want you to have a master's degree. And let's be honest, I'm already in student loan debt from Flagler College. The last thing that I can afford or that I can even fathom right now would be to go and try to get another degree and become even more thousands of dollars in debt to get my master's degree for a job that's going to pay me $30,000 to $50,000 a year. It just wasn't there for me. It wasn't adding up.
Yeah. So, so I'm going to hold you there, because there's a couple of things about that I want people listening to this. Yes. And, this is probably a good opportunity for them to comment if they've understood this process and everything else. But number one, you wouldn't have been able to get through Flagler College without a support system.
Absolutely.
And that even goes to when we start anything in our lives, when we start our business. I know the biggest strength for me is the fact that I have a wife that is stronger than me. I know 100%, because it's not easy to do what we do, whether you're going to college, whether you're just trying to pay the bills, or whether you're starting a business. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just not easy. And so the fact that Crystal got through it, she had a support system, that was a key factor. And the other part is, one of the things that these schools don't teach us, and I hope some of the younger audience members are really listening to this, is that
they do not.
Is that they don't teach us that, you're going to go to school, you're going to do all this. And when you get your bachelor's degree, guess what? It's not that easy just to go out and get a job, because guess what? You need experience. So what did you do in this case? I mean, how did you come from that?
I'm like, look, at this point, I don't even care if it's psychology related. I just need a job. I need something to where I can pay these student loans back, because I'm adding up all this debt and I have no way of paying it back yet. Mm-hmm. So I applied anywhere literally that accepted a bachelor's degree. The week of my finals, I'm taking my final exams, I'm about to graduate, I got a call from Enterprise RentACar.
Okay.
And I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make this work. I'm a motorhead, even though I'm a female. I love cars. It's just something that's in my blood.
All right.
I'm a daddy's only girl, so he just loves to instill that in me. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I can do this. They make you go through 3 interviews before they hire you. A phone interview, a sit-down interview with your area manager, and then your group rental manager you interview with. I went through all 3 of those interviews, needless to say, and they hired me for their manager assistant program. And it was huge. I feel like it definitely molded me and developed me into the entrepreneur that I am today, because of all of, just the training that they give you. It is just absolutely incredible. And like I said, the interview process that they put you through, everybody starts at the bottom, so to speak, and you have to work your way up. So there's no jumping your way and becoming an area manager as soon as you sign on with Enterprise. No, you start as a manager assistant. You have to take a test that you have to pass, which is very hard. And I'm not a great test taker. That's one of my problems, is because I have anxiety. So my test taking skills are awful. I had to take my test twice with them, but as soon as I passed it, like as you know, I was running at my 5th year with them. I was running a 450 car operation with 2 locations.
Wow.
I had my main branch and a satellite location. So, but I had to work my way up that corporate ladder. And, being a female in a very male dominated industry, at times it could be very intimidating. But with Enterprise, literally, when you become a branch manager, they hand you the keys to your store and you get paid off of the bottom line. So off of your net profit that you bring in, that's where you're getting your commission. It's only $25,000 base salary. So who can live off of $25,000?
Right. So you had to perform. You had to make things work in order to make money, in order to pay off that student loan debt, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I literally, I bled green. I never thought that I would have left Enterprise. Never in my wildest dreams, until everything just unfolded before our eyes whenever we were trying to have a family. So,
all right. So how long were you with Enterprise?
I was with them for 5 years.
5 years. And so you started to feel comfortable, right?
Yes.
You were able to weed through the male dominating industry
Oh,
and
absolutely. They were
put
coming
your
to
foot.
me asking me how I was so successful with my customer service score, how my branch was so successful. I mean, I was a branch manager bringing in about $55,000, and most branch managers weren't even touching that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're definitely going to own in on the skill set that Crystal brought to her customer retention. We're going to do that in a later episode because,
Yeah.
but I do want to talk more about the female male ratio and, the odds against you. And because I think we all deal with that. I remember when I was first getting started, as an entrepreneur, and even when I got my first managerial job, one of the things that always hit me in the face was I was younger than everybody, right?
Yes.
Because I came around from a family of entrepreneurs and I was always more motivated, a go-getter, and I didn't want to just be an employee. I mean, now that I look at it, I never wanted to be an employee, but I wanted to be somebody that was in charge. I wanted to be managerial just because I felt that's where the money was and I felt that's where the opportunity was. But when you get promoted and you're in your early 20s and you've got the people that are in their late 20s, 30s, and 40s looking at you like, I'm not listening to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like, listen, I'm not the one that, I mean, yeah, I performed, but they're the ones that gave me the key to unlock the door at night. So, and I have the code to the safe and all that. Don't hate me for that. So I think everybody has those challenges. And so how did you deal with that at Enterprise? I mean, did you ever feel like you weren't going to be able to overcome the challenge of you being a female and everybody else, or for the most part, it's a dominated male industry? How did you overcome that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is, I would say probably 9 to 10, 9 men to 1 female, like ratio with them.
Now, is that in overall in the industry altogether, or just in the manager part? Okay.
Because even in your, let's say, because even as a branch manager, I mean, you still have your risk manager, your, your group manager. There's so many different entities that people don't realize. It's not just renting cars. They do so many different things. That's a whole nother story. But our manager that we had when I first started, he was amazing. And then we had turnover at my 4th year there. We had a whole group turnover. And the new guy that they brought in, my risk manager, I really adored her. She was my mentor. I really looked up to her because, like you said, being in a male-dominated industry, finding that other woman that was successful, and just kind of her loving on me, so to speak, and being my mentor. If I needed anything, I knew that I could go to her.
Right.
And they ended up firing her. And he was very vocal about it. And she was one of those who was a little bit more reserved. And so when he kind of put her on the spot and just made her feel some type of way about him firing her and his reasoning behind it and just exploding it to everybody, it kind of made me view everything a little bit more different. But I think how I kind of overcame it is I found another female that was already successful within the industry that had overcome all of those challenges, and just kind of adored her, loved her story, and followed along in her footsteps.
It's sad that happened to her because she has a weakness, because maybe she just didn't I'm not saying she was weak, and it might not even been a weakness, but when people take kindness as a weakness and they expose that and they take advantage of it, I actually did a little something this morning. I did something myself on Facebook because 100% in today's world, we see that all the time, where you see people that are doing different things and you see somebody that just wants to expose their weakness, maybe because they don't agree with their view set, or just, I think what it boils down to is a lot of people have issues with being comfortable with who they are. And overall, we will always deal with people wanting to put somebody else down because it makes them feel better. And it's so wrong to say it like that, but to me, that's the way it is. People feel so bad about themselves. Their self-esteem is low. And so I, as an entrepreneur and as a leader,
Mhm.
when I see people like that, I try to lift them up. And
Yes.
and I see you being that same way. And so so what happened with Enterprise? I mean, was it 100% personal reasons you left, or the company did things start falling apart? And I'm,
So
100%, I'm not saying that Enterprise is not a good company. I'm not exposing them as a bad company, but as far as the corporate structure and as far as the pieces inside, because we're talking about being an entrepreneur. We're not talking about going to get a job somewhere.
right.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm saying that because I'm not here to bash Enterprise. I use Enterprise a lot. I love renting cars. I think it's a great industry. But
Right.
I want everybody to understand what happened to you in your mindset, because I believe people deal with this all the time.
Yeah. So, and I kind of feel like it's all to do with the reasoning because I'm a female, what happened. So here I am at the top of my game running the largest branch that we have within our group. So all of Northeast Florida, literally the largest branch, I'm running it, had been running it for a full 7 months, with customer service scores that were unheard of, and bringing in profits that were unheard of. I ended up, before this, John and I had discussed that we wanted to have children. Unfortunately, in between about 6 months of this, so me being at this location, I had lost 3 children. So we had 3 miscarriages kind of like back to back to back. It was like a whirlwind. And we were like, what is going on?
Wow.
Had to go and seek some, answers and different things like that. But thank God, as you heard earlier, we do have our blessing. I do have my son, who we are very, very grateful for. But with that being said, when I found out that I was pregnant with him, they more or less seen it as an opportunity, so to speak, unfortunately, to take that branch away from me, because of course they had all of these other, people that were working their way up the ropes that were males that they could pay less of a salary, and kind of push me on the back burner. So I had to do accounts receivables, which not knocking them, because listen, I was pregnant. I had a lot going on. And with the complications that I had, running a branch is very stressful. It's time consuming. It's very physical. I'm that branch manager that I'll be out there washing that car if a customer's in there waiting. I have no shame. I will go out there and do whatever I have to do. I'll pull my bootstraps up and go get in the trenches, so to speak.
Right.
That was never a problem for me. So I'd be out there in 6-inch heels, vacuuming a car, washing it out real quick and bringing it up front so the customer can get out of here. That's just what I do.
Right.
So they kind of put me behind like in a desk job. I'm not a desk job kind of person.
Right.
Not only did they do that, but they tried to take my money from me, and I had to stand up for myself. And I wasn't a very vocal person. I was kind of one of those ones that was very intimidated. I guess I kind of took after Jennifer, my mentor, and I kind of didn't voice my opinion. But I was like, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And you're not going to take my bonuses from me. You're not going to give me just $25,000 base salary, and I'm not going to get any kind of commission, because remember, I'm not running a branch now. So how are they going to give me that additional money?
Right.
So y'all are just gonna leave me $30,000 shot because I'm not running this other store. So I had to make a deal with him, so to speak, because I was doing accounts receivable. However much money I collected, I got bonus structure off of that. So I did have to go in there though and speak to our group controller, and that was very intimidating. But
right.
I did it, and he heard me, and I got what I needed.
But
after that was after I had Braden, about a month after I had him and I went back to work for them. It wasn't the same, those warm and fuzzies and me wanting to just really crush it. The vibes just weren't there anymore.
Well, in my opinion, they've already messed it up at that point. They've messed it up with you. Because they had every opportunity in the world. Here's somebody who's building the larger, it boils down to dollars and cents. I don't care what business you're in. We can, yes, we have passion, we feel good and everything else, but damn it, if you can't pay the bills and you can't pay your employees, all these warm and fuzzies don't matter. Mm-hmm. And so it aggravates me that you put all this work in
Yes.
They could have done everything in the world to say, Crystal, what can we do to make your life a little bit more simpler? We understand what you're going through. We feel bad and everything else, but they don't, because it boils down to the fact that a lot of these corporate American companies look at us as a number and that's it.
They don't care.
Right. They don't care. And that's why we are certifiably unemployable. And that's why we're entrepreneurs, because to me, I could see that being the straw that broke the camel's back. And you know what?
Absolutely.
They should be very grateful that you were soft-spoken and you held back the way you did.
Thank you.
This guy right here.
Now, the Crystal now would not have been like
right,
that.
which I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So we, so Braden was a month old.
Yes.
And is that when you decided to?
Yep.
You decided to leave Enterprise. Okay. All right.
Yep.
So, what year was that? When was that?
That was, so he was born in 2015. And right after that, I got a job as a home health coordinator, and I did that for 3 years.
Okay. That's a totally different industry.
Yes. And you know what? Same thing.
Yeah.
Great old corporate America for you.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
All about that bottom dollar and not you as a person. They don't care about you out there working in the trenches for them and, being the one who's marketing their company for 2 years. They're going to hire somebody else who's going to come in that's going to do your job for less than what they were going to pay you for it, who has absolutely no experience in your market. And then they're just going to laugh at you in your face and be like, oh, Crystal, but we still need you to bring in these referrals. Not to.
But meanwhile, you're doing home health services.
Oh, I'm bringing in like 20 to 30 Medicare referrals a month, which is huge. I don't know anybody who might be on here that knows that industry, but let me just tell you again, Crystal, top of her game. And that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I am done working and being the best for everybody else when I can be the best for myself and I can fulfill my own dreams and my own goals and my own wants instead of worrying about somebody else's. So
when did you decide that you were going to start your own business? I mean, was it when you've had enough, or were you thinking about it before that? I mean,
right.
What was going on in your head with that?
I knew that I wanted to do something else. My passion just was not there anymore. Like I said, I was done. I'm done at this point. And that was June of 2018. So I decided, I'm like, let me, and Braden's 3 at this point. So I'm like, I want to do something for me, right? I feel like becoming a new mom, you kind of lose that sense of who you are for a little bit because you're so focused on your child and what they want and their needs and everything. Okay. So now he's 3 and I'm like, okay, I want to do something for me again. What's something that would fulfill my passions and my dreams? And what do I really want to do? And I love making other women feel beautiful and comfortable in their own skin. And let's face it, we're all beautiful and amazing just the way that we are. And I knew that when I put on a new outfit and those right accessories and jewelry, I did hold my head higher. And you know what? People around me viewed me differently and they could see that confidence radiating off of me and they wanted it, So I'm like, okay, I can do this. I decided to open up my own boutique in July of 2018, just online. And I was just doing it part-time, just to see, just for fun,
Right.
September, we decided to move out of our first house we purchased in St. Augustine, and we decided to move to a new house. We had about a month in between time. Literally ran the boutique out of the back of my car. Okay.
I saw that in your story, Crystal, and I have looking at what you do now. And I understand that our business today doesn't reflect what it is in 6 months. I mean, businesses change all the time, but
Absolutely.
I don't know how you did it out of your trunk. So
seriously,
that's crazy.
Hard times.
Yeah. You do what you got to do, though, right?
Yes. So I told myself, I'm like, Crystal, if you can still maintain your home health job, run your boutique out of the trunk of your car while staying at a friend's house because your home is not ready, there is no better time than now to dive all in on this business, hone in on it, sister, and get it done. Yeah. And that's what I did. I put in that resignation letter And boy, was it one of the most invigorating yet scariest moments of my life. But I would never, ever, ever think twice about it.
That's awesome. So was that something that you decided to mention to your husband before you did it, or did you just do it and say,
yes,
okay,
absolutely, yes.
Woo,
Now, definitely,
because
he's my
because
support
me,
system.
right? Well, it's 100%. It's apparent listening to your story that your support system has been rock solid, and you know, my support system is always rock solid too. It hasn't always been, but my support system is, and you know, but sometimes I'm that kind of person where it's like I instead of asking for permission, I'll ask for forgiveness later. And maybe that's just being a man. I don't know. But,
yeah, you're telling my husband.
but that's just the way it is. But okay, so you started your boutique June of 2018.
Yeah.
You said you were ready. You stopped working. So you continued working out of the trunk of your car. What did you do to get out of the trunk of your car, and what was your next step with your business?
So when we got our house, October of 2018 is when I really went full time, all in with the boutique. I was like, I'm going to do it. And so we dedicate a whole room in our house to which we call the boutique room.
Right.
But like when I first started, I was handwriting all of my invoices. I would go live on Facebook and I would have all of my inventory written down. And I would have each of the sizes with the blank next to the name, and I would handwrite each of the names. And then after the live was over, I would have to manually invoice everybody. And it's not like that anymore. You know, I mean, kind of like you said, when you first start your business, it's not what it was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
You figure out what works for you. And I'm just so blessed. The group of girls that I have that shop with us are just truly amazing. I don't consider them customers. I honestly consider them family. And I know each of them, like their clothing styles, what they're going to like, their sizes. You know, I mean, when you shop with us, it's not just shopping. It's like joining a community of other women that are inspiring and positive and upbeat. And I love it. I love it.
You know, I think women hold a very special place in the world of small business. And I think so many women don't realize how powerful they can be as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And I think one of the reasons why, Crystal, is that there's not enough women that support one another. You look at
100% agree with you.
You look at a lot of women nowadays, and right away they want to judge the other woman. Maybe because they don't feel as pretty as that person, or
right.
They don't like the car they drive. And you know, that's the reason why we have to find somebody that we can use as a mentor, somebody that we can use
to lift you back up.
Right. 100%. And you know, you had your husband, you had your son, that was your support, but did you have somebody that was doing what you're doing in the boutique industry that you maybe watched and kind of maybe took some ideas from? Did you use anybody as a mentor?
I had watched other boutiques online. And I thought, you know, this is great and that's great. But when I opened my boutique, I was so excited to really make it my own. You know, no boutiques out there were carrying extra large through 3X. I have a curvy model who gets on every single live with me, and she models those clothing for you. You know, I pair my jewelry that we have at the boutique with the new items that we're going to have. And we do new live releases every single week. And I do giveaways every single week on those lives whenever you spread the love for my video. It's just, I'm so passionate about it. I just absolutely love it, you know?
Yeah. So I'm curious because you went from the trunk of your car. So like, I'm looking at your little setup here that you have behind you, right?
Yes.
Did you
My
have
husband
something?
made those.
Did you have something like that set up in your trunk? I mean, did you basically do the same thing just out of your trunk?
It was totes whenever I was in the trunk.
Okay.
So it did not look like how it does now, but I was very fortunate. Jon did set up my jewelry display fairly early on. So I did have that. This is fairly new. We got that. We went to the Blue Crab last year. We hang our freshies on there, which I don't have any right now, but usually I have a ton.
Okay.
And then of course our sign behind us too. So he's a carpenter. So I get really lucky when it comes to needing little things built for me, and having cool little things. And
as a matter of fact, I've got his card right here. As a matter.
Yeah, like even this is like one of the little displays he's built for me, for my little bracelets. So yeah.
Super cool. Yeah. One of the things that I do when I meet people is I love to collect business cards, and especially when they're an entrepreneur. So kudos. Your business has 100% taken a 180. One of the things that or a matter of fact, not even a 180, a 360, because it has completely changed. So I've always said that what your business looks like then, or when you started, looks totally different now. So this is just June of 2018. You did it as a hobby out of your car. You move into your house. Now you dedicate the entire a bedroom, I would assume, to your business. Where do you see your business tomorrow, moving forward? What are you looking at?
Long-term big goals. I want
without giving us all the secret sauce, because that is
absolutely
right.
So
right.
I want to employ a handful of women. First and foremost, my model who's with me now, I would love more than anything to give her that power and have her come along with me full time. So I'm very, very, very passionate about that. So that's step one. Another thing that I want to do, I'm hesitant about brick and mortar because I feel like everything's really kind of going online. Not that that's wrong for anybody, but just for Bella's Chic Boutique and what we are striving for and what I see for our future. Big picture, I want a warehouse full of beautiful items where I can go live multiple times a week with new releases. I can have, like I said, a handful of women behind me, just rocking it out and just BCB into the rooftops.
So if we can, so if we could take this opportunity maybe to kind of bridge the gaps, other entrepreneurs that are listening, are there other lines of women's products that you're currently looking for, or what are things that you feel is going to help bring Bella's Chic Boutique to the next level, outside of warehouse space? Because I mean, all that comes with time, and I'm a huge advocate for the whole online thing. And, I haven't really watched in full length, but I have checked out bits and pieces of your lives that you do on Facebook. And, you see people doing these lives and you're like, well, they're doing them all the time. They must work. And obviously you're a testimonial to that they do work. So the proof is in the pudding. But back to my original thought, what is it, if there's an entrepreneur or somebody out there listening, what do you think somebody could help bring, maybe even whether it be in a partnership or just a relationship, a vendor, supplier, anything? Is there anything out there that you're trying to gap together?
I feel like offering exclusive items and having things that others maybe can't offer or they don't have, custom things. I love being able to offer unique, stylish, and crazy affordable. That's what I always like to, that's kind of our intro whenever we start. So yeah, anything that's unique, that's crazy, that's going to be, unique to Bella's Chic Boutique. So when somebody sees it, they're like, oh, where'd you get that from? And they can be like, girl, that's from this boutique I've been shopping at. You should go check it out.
That's right. Yeah, because if I said, girl, you need to go to this boutique and check it out, it wouldn't sound the same. So I'm glad you said that.
Oh, that's funny.
So, so it was obviously when your son was born, after you started your Bella's Chic Boutique, is that when you 100% were confident that you were certifiably unemployable, or was it prior to that?
I feel like after having Braden is really when you really ramp everything up, because you're not just responsible for yourself anymore and your husband. You're now responsible for another little human being. Not only are you responsible for them, but they're watching you 24/7. Okay. So for the fact that I could stay home with him and see all of those milestones and get to enjoy them. And he sees what mommy does and he'll tell you, he's like, mommy's working in the boutique room, like he knows.
That's good. That's good.
but he loves it. It's so cute. He'll hop on the lives too, and he'll be like, "Hey, gorgeous beauties," because that's what I always say to everybody. You know, I mean, I love to uplift other women and to make them feel good and comfortable about themselves, because we should be uplifting one another. We should not be bashing and you know, criticizing one another.
100%. And that was my message I had said this morning. I went on Facebook Live, and I'm just like, you know, I'm going to challenge everybody just to do something nice for somebody today.
Yes.
I mean, we don't have to, there's always going to be negativity and hate. We don't need to be a part of it. We can be an advocate for positivity. And if it's in your mind, you're thinking it, you're going to say it. So let's just not even think it. So with that being said, how different are you today than you were when you were at Enterprise, and how stronger are you? And what do you think that reason is?
Oh, I mean, am I allowed to say I'm 100% stronger?
Absolutely. It's you, right?
I think I was very timid. I obviously did not have very much self-confidence in myself. I didn't think I was going to get into Flagler College. I didn't think I was smart enough for anything like that. But here I am today. And you know what? If somebody was to ask me today, I'm 100% confident in myself. I know I can crush anything that I set my mind to. And I know that that's what's going to happen. When I set my mind to something, it's going to be accomplished, point blank, period.
And I think
so
that's
no
the key.
hesitation.
Right. And that's awesome, Crystal, because that's the key to a successful business, is that you might not have everything worked out. You're not going to have all the plans together. No. You just got to do it. And the biggest thing is you got to have faith in yourself. Baby steps. You got faith in yourself, and now you've got passion that's going to push you through anything that happens negatively.
Your mindset is huge, huge on what you are actually going to be able to accomplish and what you can achieve and overcome.
I agree. So what advice can you give to the listeners, specifically the ladies out there that are wanting to start a business, wanting to do something? You know, if they need advice, you know, what do you suggest?
Go for it.
Right?
Take that leap of faith. Don't second guess yourself. Don't have any doubts. Don't think, well, what if I can't? That can't word, completely eliminate it from your mind, because like I just said earlier, your mindset is so crucial. And if you believe in here that you can do it, I guarantee you're going to get it done.
That's awesome. So Crystal, with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I want to encourage everybody listening today, again, comment, like, share. I know you, not just the women, but us guys, we can resonate with what Crystal's talking about, because it's a real story. It really is, truly. So I want to hear your comments. I want to see your comments. I want you to let us know what we can do to expand on topics like this. And don't forget to go check out Bella's Chic Boutique. And you see it, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see it there. I'm going to put the link on Facebook. I'm also going to put in the video, and I'm going to share that link wherever we can. So, and Crystal, I wish you the best. I think your concept is fantastic. And I'm glad a few weeks ago I got to meet you and your husband. So
yeah, me as well.
Walking in, I didn't know that's what it was going to turn into. But as soon as I heard a part of your story, I was like, oh, you have no idea. I want to hear more. And so here we are. So with that being said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can hear us on Spotify, iTunes, Google, Anchor, and we're coming to networks more and more as we expand Certifiably Unemployable. Also, like and comment and subscribe on YouTube. Until next time.
You've been listening to Certifiably Unemployable. Ready to fire the boss yet? You're on your way. Sean has been self-employed for over 20 years. So if that's something that you want to do, something you've been dreaming about for years, Sean has all the knowledge, good, bad, and indifferent. We hope you've gotten some useful and practical information from this show. And we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on Facebook and Instagram at Certifiably Unemployable. Find us on YouTube and at www.certifiablyunemployable.com. Till next time, this is Certifiably Unemployable, signing off.